July meeting, commission to order. This evening tonight, we've got myself, David Preston, Rick Dyckman, and sitting in for Lynn Conway, Gary Belkey, Lou Walter. The first meeting participates. Good luck.
If we can all just turn the mics on too, please.
All right. Minutes, the previous meeting,
Is that working? Yes. Good.
Make a motion to approve the minutes?
do I hear a
Second.
second? Any discussion?
They look good.
Yeah, long one.
Long- It was a long meeting.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Correspondence. How we want to handle this, Keith? Go ahead.
Well, this is item 4A, letter from Barry Fortin, partner and general manager of Phoenix Entertainment LLC, addressing concerns in the conduct of business located at 215 Liberty Street, Pawcatuck, Assessors Map 16, Block 4, Lot 12, Zone LS5. Mr. Fortin wrote this letter to the commission, asking for certain things about the stipulations that were put on the business. It's a letter, it's not an application. Some of these things would, rather be a special use permit application or something like that to expand it. I'm not sure if Mr. Fortin's here tonight.
Is he here?
Is this another Innit Mystic situation? Where
Yes.
where the neighbors are being bothered by violations of the stipulations?
I don't think they're, first of all, I don't think they're violating any stipulations. And with full disclosure, they're basically my next door neighbor, and I never know they're there. So I don't know what, I read this letter and I go, what are they talking about? I mean, literally, they are my next door neighbor. And I never hear them, I never see them. Actually, if I go out at night and I see parking lots in my car, I say, oh, good, he's doing some business, isn't that good? As far as noise goes, I don't see any of it.
Okay.
What? I can't hear you.
Can we hear the letter?
Oh, you want to hear the letter, Keith? You want to read the letter? One page.
Start.
This is the letter.
And again, there's another letter.
Letter from the neighbor.
From the
I don't want to
neighbors.
get into a Jerry Springer show over this either. I think that the thing is that if they want any changes of use there, they have to come back to change the special use permit. And they wanted another night for car shows. We said one night. We said that the outdoor entertainment has to end at a certain time. It should end at a certain time. We told Mystic and 21 Rock that they couldn't have any outdoor entertainment, and after a court injunction, we won. So I don't want to have to go this far on this, but I think that if they want any changes, they're going to have to come to us. We can't just say, all right, go ahead and do this now, change the lighting, or have the entertainment to 10 o'clock. So we heard both sides of this, but I think that the owners should come to us if they want any change of the special use permit. Because they agreed to it, we worked on this, not one, but 2 or 3 meetings to get this straightened out. So I think that's where we should leave it. Is everyone happy with that?
Yes. Yep.
Thank you. Item 5D, Administrative Review, 5D1, 2188 ZON, Kyle Smith, John Singletary, zoning permit application to dig a 1 by 2 by 54 foot trench in the non-infringement area to provide electrical service to a dock, property located on River Road, Pawcatuck, Assessors Map 6, Block 4, Lot 24B, Zone RC 120. Excuse me. All right, so this activity is proposed in the RC 120 zone's non-infringement area, in which the regulations say that if you're 100 feet from the coast or tidal wetlands, you basically can't develop the property or do anything, with the exception of if you come to the Planning and Zoning Commission for permission, you can have boat access for your property, among other things. This is a vacant lot that's been used as a private dock and paved boat launch for years for the residential property across the street, so it's not a, in a natural state, really. The point of this is to use power for dock lighting and bubblers in the winter to prevent ice damage. They've applied to expand the dock to DEP, which is pending. And of course, the dock proposal is up to DEP. We don't have jurisdiction over the coastal jurisdiction line. And the trench will not be located in the wetlands.
The expansion of the dock is, as far as you know, for personal use, not as a...
Yes.
Okay.
Anyone have any problem with this? Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve?
You hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Do we have any jurisdiction over the lighting? What kind of lighting are they proposing, do you know?
I do not.
Is it? That'd be great, thank you.
It's very limited. It would just be a couple lights on the dock itself.
Like
On the
LED,
extension.
LED lights or?
Yeah, something like, just something small, like the anchor lights or something, just on 2 posts or something as we go out.
So no big floodlight on that pole for night fishing or something? you know?
No, and it's all for personal use. There's 4 owners. We split 25% ownership of that property. I just moved back home, bought the old Aiello house, and so I took lead on this, so, yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hey, can you just state your name for the record?
Oh, I'm sorry, first timer. Kyle Smith.
Thanks.
Yep.
All set?
Okay, all set? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes have it.
Item 5D2, 21175 ZON. Jay Garbarino, trustee, Big Y Foods, zoning permit application for the remodel of the building facade and construction of a new vestibule. Property located at 79 Stonington Road, Mystic. Assessors map 153, block 1, lot 1, zone GC 60 and RC 20. Big Y's proposing a small vestibule addition as part of their general remodeling. The addition complies with the GC 60 regulations. Very tiny compared to the rest of the supermarket and really under,
It's all undercover.
I think it's all undercover there anyway. And the exterior changes mostly amount to just repainting of the materials that are already there and new signs. The Architectural Review Board reviewed and approved this as on May 10th. That board's review was initially for a more significant design change, but the current design was developed to address that board's concerns with the original proposal.
Any questions? Do I hear a motion on this application?
Motion to approve?
Second motion?
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
And for old business, item 6A is PZ 2115 CAM, Rufus Allen, Roy Bolander. Coastal Area Management Site Plan Review application to accompany future zoning permit application for the construction of a single-family residence with on-site septic system. Property located at 19 Chippewa Trail, Mystic, Assessors Map 176, Block 5, Lot 2A, Zone RA20. And Mr. Brown's here to present this to the commission.
I'm recusing myself from this.
Fred is recusing himself, so Brian, you're next, so you'll be seated for this.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. My name is Clint Brown with Lorero Engineers, 100 Fort Hill Road, Groton. I'm a licensed professional engineer in the state of Connecticut. As you heard, this is an application for a coastal site plan review for a single-family residence on Chippewa Trail in Mason's Island. The site is zoned residential, single-family, RA20, and based upon the site plan that we prepared, we can say, and your staff has also reported to you, that it meets all the requirements of that zone. As far as utilities are concerned, there is public water available at the site. It will be utilized. Sewage disposal will be by an on-site septic system. We have tested the lot, designed a system, and submitted it to Ledge Light Health District for review, and they found that the lot is suitable for the development that is proposed. On the coastal resources topic, there are some coastal resources on the site. Right along the shoreline, there are tidal wetlands regulated by the state of Connecticut, but also have implications for site planning at this level. And so we've had those properly delineated and surveyed, and maintained 25-foot separation from the tidal wetlands to any grading that would occur on the property. Also, we're in the flood zone overlay district. Some portions of the site are in the V zone. Those are the ones very close to the shoreline. Not doing anything there, no construction, no activity of any sort. All the work will take place in the AE zone, including the elevation of the building so that it is 1 foot above the base flood elevation as required by your regulations. We also have erosion and sediment control devices and procedures shown on the plan to protect the tidal wetlands and the other resources on and adjacent to the site. And last but not least, we thought it was appropriate to add a rain garden. So we did that down at the south end. And that rain garden will pick up roof drainage and drainage from the driveway, and that discharge will go through the rain garden before it is discharged into Fisher's Island Sound. So those are the main features of the application. We had obviously a complete staff review, and from what we know, the town engineer had what we would characterize as some very minor technical comments. We're certainly happy to take care of those. There's nothing there that would change the plan in any substantial way. Ledge Light, as I indicated, did a complete review. It indicated that the lot is suitable for a 4-bedroom residence. The zoning official did not have any comments. And then last, we had some comments from DEEP under their Long Island Sound program for coastal management. And they wanted to remind the applicants and the owners here that, there is sea level rise going on in the next 30, 40, 50 years, and that it is not likely that they would approve of any measure to prevent that sea level rise from entering onto this property, like a revetment or a seawall or anything like that. So that's understood by the applicants. So and they're prepared to live with that. With that, that is the extent of the application and the comments that we are aware of, and we hope that the plan is in order for your action.
Anyone have any questions at this time?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I do. On your third sheet, Mr. Brown, I don't quite understand what the dashed red line is.
That's the Limois line.
It is.
That's the line of a little higher wave action.
Right, so that's right at the base of the contours of the house?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Chuck?
Just one quick question, Mr. Chairman. So the town engineer's comments go back to slope stabilization, and the state's comments talk about you can't use any concrete retaining structure to do it. So how are you going to stabilize this slope?
There are surface treatments you can use, like turf reinforcing mats and things of that nature, that would still serve the purpose. And again, that fill, if the river was a storm, can be washed away and not impact the structure.
And will that withstand the forces that it will be subjected to as a result of it being at Limois?
I believe so.
How does this fit in with our POCD?
Pardon me?
How does this fit in with our POCD?
I actually did not bring those excerpts with me, and I know you've got some language in there about, what's going to happen down the line, and I think DEP, in their letter, indicates that there's basically two choices here. One is, does one more residence on Mason's Island make a significant difference or not with respect to what's going to go on very long term, although that doesn't mean we should ignore it, or is this the straw that breaks the camel's
Well,
back?
this is one of the lowest spots on Mason's Island. I mean, it floods all the time, Clint. You drive down the road, it's underwater at times. I've seen it underwater. I mean, it's... What's the elevation of the house gonna be? I mean,
Elevation 12.
so it's 13.
Pardon me?
It will be 13 then.
No, it'd be 12.
Is it elevation 11?
That's the flood zone elevation.
So it's 12, okay.
Yes.
But it does not fit in with the POCD.
No, don't see
What?
how. I don't see how.
I don't see how it does. Any other comments?
I was just a little nervous about this beep letter from, what's her name? Mary Beth Hart. About
Is your mic on, Gardner?
I was a little,
Is your mic on?
I think so.
There you go.
I was just a little concerned when I read this letter from DEP about, future flooding and sea level rise and that kind of stuff. It just sort of gave me pause, shall we say. I mean, not my money. If you want to spend the money to build a house there and 20 years it floats out to sea, that's your business, but I just was a little concerned about it.
Any other questions at this time? Brian?
I don't have any, no.
Chuck?
I think that we should make sure that the town engineer sees this information that we got from Land and Water Resources Division at DEP, and conducts a close review of the stabilization. I share the concerns that everybody else does. This is a steep slope adjacent to limited to moderate wave action zone, and whatever the engineer designs should be carefully looked at in light of DEP's recommendations. And I have a lot of confidence in our town engineer that he'll do a thorough review, but he should see this.
Another thing that, if you approve this here, we have the recommended stipulation that gets reviewed by the town engineer. I would also add in there the floodplain manager, who we don't have comments from him on this. Just to get his input, which could strengthen the plan. Other than that, the recommended stipulations are the standard one to record the final plans. Final plans shall be reviewed to the satisfaction of town engineer and floodplain manager and shall address the town planner's June 21st, 2001 comments. And zoning permit for house construction shall conform to all relevant zoning and flood hazard requirements. And the standard here for something like this is, does it meet the zoning regulations and the flood hazard regulations? And DEP's comments are definitely well advised, you know, that these issues will be getting worse. So far, our regulations don't really take sea level rise into accommodation that much. If something does meet the flood hazard regulations for something that's an as of right thing.
Do I hear a motion on this application?
Make a motion to accept this application as presented?
Second?
Second.
Discussion.
Well, remember we got our hands tied on that property over on, was it Williams Cove that already was approved?
That house on the water?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we were all felt very frustrated about that. And I feel the same frustration on this property, that it's a recipe for disaster in the future.
Total disaster. And it's on Fish Island Sound. It would, that was
That's
on the
that's sort of
coast.
where I was coming from with my comments.
It's going to be more exposed to the southeast.
You know, 30 years from now, that house could be floating out in the middle of Fishers.
Well, it's concrete columns standing there.
Even in the septic system too.
Yeah,
Didn't
and
thought
that
about
could easily
that.
get out into the water. The septic system, you know, with wave vacuum.
Yeah. And Gary, any questions? All those in favor of this application? All those opposed to the application?
Opposed?
Opposed?
Opposed.
Opposed. Application denied. All right, now Fred's back with us. Okay, public hearing.
Public hearing time. Pursuant to the general statutes of the state of Connecticut, revision of 1958 and all amendments thereto, and pursuant to the zoning regulations for the town of Stonington, Connecticut, the Planning and Zoning Commission hereby gives notice that will hold a public hearing at the Stonington Board of Education District Office, 40 Field Street, Waukatuck, Connecticut, on Tuesday, July 20th, 2021, at 7 p.m. on the following applications: PZ 211 4SPA and CAM Stoneacres Farm LLC. Site plan and coastal area management review applications for construction of a new cooking pavilion, new toilet building, new utility connections, and site improvements consistent with the master plan. Property located at 381 North Main Street, Stonington, Assessors Map 81, Block 1, Lot 2, Zone AHD.
Seated at the public hearing is Ben Filbert, Gardner Young, myself, David Rathman, Fred Dykeman, and Gary Bilkey. First, we'll hear from the applicant and those in favor of the application. Then we'll hear from anyone opposed to the application. Then any general comments. Then the applicant will have a right for rebuttal, and then we'll hear from the staff. So is the applicant ready?
And there's a sign-up sheet in the back for anyone looking to speak on this.
Clint Brown's night.
Good evening, again. Clint Brown from Lorero Engineers on behalf of Stoneacres Farm. As you heard, this is an application for site plan review and coastal site plan review. I want to also introduce Jane Meiser, who is here. She's a Director of Operations for Stoneacres Farm. And there are two other members of our team who could not attend this evening. One is Julia Leeming, she is the project architect, and the other is Adrian Nile, he's the landscape architect. But they prepared a nice synopsis that I think would make a very good introduction to the application. So if you bear with me, I'll read it. It's only one page, but I think it gives good perspective, and then I'll get into the site plan in a little more detail. Architectural landscape narrative dated July 20th, 2021. Stone Acres Farm, located at 381 North Main Street, is seeking approval for 2 small structures that would provide new accessible bathroom and catering buildings to the farm facility. Structures are designed to be harmonious with the other small services buildings located across the 65-acre campus. They both employ simple shed roofs that reference the roof line of the existing farm stand building and are clad in vertical 1x6 tongue and groove siding that is also borrowed from the farm stand building. The roofs will have metal panel roofing appropriate to agricultural buildings. Oversized barn doors, like those seen on the existing carriage house and main house carport, allow views through the buildings and open them to the surrounding landscape. The 904 square foot catering building, intended to replace the rental tents currently used by caterers for events held on the property, is located adjacent to the outdoor cooking fire pit known as the Fire Beast, and straddles an existing stone wall that separates the farmstead field from the event field. The catering building presents a quiet, closed elevation to the latter field, where the event and not the act of cooking is the main attraction. The catering building opens to face the farm stand field and the Fire Beast, where the activity of prepping and cooking inside and around the building is the focus. Retractable insect screens with central magnetic closures will protect the interior when the barn doors are open. The 609 square foot bathroom building will replace rental porta potties and will serve multiple constituencies: events held in the fields, Yellow Farmhouse Education Center program, and ceremonies held in the formal gardens. Like the catering building, the bathroom building roof line opens toward the farmstead field and slopes towards the existing stone wall that separates the formal gardens from the farm stand field. A deep overhang between the building and the stone wall provides shade and shelter to a new pathway that will connect the event field to the formal gardens. Operable windows bring natural light and ventilation into the bathrooms and through the central breezeway. At both buildings, galvanized steel half-round gutters and rain chains will direct roof runoff into rain barrels supplied through the town of Stonington and the Stonington Beautification Committee. The water collector will be used in the surrounding landscape and gardens. The site improvements and infrastructure have been designed to seamlessly integrate with the existing agrarian landscape that is characterized by open fields, working landscapes, and natural ecosystems. The modest new structures have been sited along field edges, nestled into existing stone walls, working gardens, and large canopy trees. Tractor paths and human scale paths provide accessible routes and further integrate current improvements with the existing landscape, including the formal gardens. Dark skies compliant low-profile landscape lighting, strategically located along the new walks, provides targeted illumination where needed.
Thank you.
I'll come over now and point out some of these features to you on this particular plan, which you have a smaller version of this in your package, I believe. But this is the essentially the southern quarter of the farm. North Main Street is out here going north, is away from me, and Stonington Road, Route 1, is down here on the bottom of the sheet. So the area where the activities I just described to you will be occurring is essentially in this quadrant right here, which runs from that pedestrian pentway that goes in to the property southerly to beyond where the tent site is, if you've ever familiar with how that's positioned. So the two buildings are the catering building, which is this shape right here, which straddles the wall. There's the so-called Fire Beast, which is the outdoor cooking facility, and again, it looks out on the farm field in one direction, on a meadow in the other direction. The restroom building is positioned over here off the tractor path, and again, that will have a walkway element along the back of it, and there'll be a new opening created in the existing wall to access the formal garden area for events and photographs and that kind of thing. So those are the two buildings. They're relatively small in size. As you heard, they're hundreds of square feet. As part of this effort, the applicants will be have to bring utilities to these buildings. They are in the process of developing their wells and extending water lines to these two sites. And these two buildings will have a common sewage disposal system that's been designed in consultation with both Ledgelight Health District and the Department of Health. Just procedurally, as I'm sure you well know, back in 2017, you approved an overall master plan for this project as part of the Agricultural Heritage Design District. About 6 months after that, the applicant brought in Phase 1, which was work up on the northern next quadrant, which was the main entry, parking, and some of the other infrastructure to get the place off and running. That's obviously gone according to plan, so now they're moving into the next phase of that. And at the time the application was approved, it was indicated there would be a number of phases because it was impossible to execute the whole master plan at once. We believe that this Phase 2, as we call it, is completely consistent with the master plan as you approved it. It does not modify any of the uses, any of the locations of the buildings, or any of the other parameters that you approved at that time. Julia Alimi and Adrian took the plans for the buildings to the Architectural Design Review Board back in May, and they were approved at that time as submitted, no conditions or stipulations on them. I think the Design Review Board very much liked the idea that these new buildings replicated and took something from the other buildings on the property. I'd also point out that as you can see, the buildings are a substantial distance from North Main Street or from any neighbors. So from those distances, they're going to look just like other farm buildings that you would see if you were standing out on a road looking into a property. So there shouldn't be any particular issue with that. Utilities, as I mentioned, upgraded wells and septic systems to support these buildings. With regard to environmental features, there is a stream and associated wetlands that runs along the eastern part of the property from north to south and down under Route 1. We'll be more than 100 feet from those wetlands with any of the activities associated with this phase. As we did in the previous two phases, we did a complete drainage analysis and submitted it for review, both in terms of impact on any environmental features, impact on the pipe under Route 1 down here, and on any downstream properties. And again, our conclusion, I think supported by review, was that there were no impacts. A very small portion of the southwest corner of the property is in the coastal zone, and this project was reviewed by DEEP, and they felt that it was consistent with the Coastal Management Act. So I think we're in good shape there. With regard to staff review comments, again, the town engineer had what I will call minor technical review comments, which was, again, happy to take care of. We don't see any issues there. Architectural Design Review Board approved the project, and there was nothing from the zoning official, no zoning issues, and the Ledgelight Health District approved the plan. So we think we've got a pretty good clean bill of health from your review agencies.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak in favor of this application? Is anyone opposed to this application? Do we hear any general comments on this application? Keith?
Yeah, so as Mr. Brown said, this site plan is governed by the Agricultural Heritage District Master Plan that governs the site. It was approved in 2017. The Agricultural Heritage District is one of the floating zones the town has that was created to help preserve historic farms, and give them some flexibility with the activities that they do there. There were only 2 agricultural heritage districts in town, this and the new, I think it's called Dragonfly Farms, Rob Valenti owns off Pequot Trail. Site plans that come before you for these zones need their own public hearings, which is why this has one where most site plans don't. And it is consistent with the master plan and the agricultural heritage district regulations. Mr. Brown talked about the comments we received. We received the comments from DEP today that said it was consistent. Also recommended that we require installation and maintenance of adequate sedimentation and erosion controls as a condition of the coastal site plan approval. And that is covered under the stipulation for, recommended stipulation for town engineers review. That's one of the things he asked for, was a separate E&S plan. Besides that, the other recommended stipulations were just that prior to the issuance of a zoning permit, final plan shall be signed by the commission, recorded in the town's land evidence records, and that final plan shall remove the zoning table for the previous RR80 zone. And as far as emotions here, it's a motion on the coastal area management application and the site plan application.
Before we close the public hearing, Chuck or Ryan have any questions?
Good, Mr. Chairman.
No, I'm good. This looks good.
I hear a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second? All those in favor?
Second.
Aye. Opposed, ayes have it. Do we have a motion in this application?
Motion to approve the application with the stipulations as enumerated by Keith.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
No, looks good.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. Looks nice.
Moving right along, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, go right along.
Notice of public hearing, PZ 2116 SUP, Arlington Homes LLC, Aquarian Water Company. Special use permit application for the construction of a new 16-foot by 38-foot well treatment facility and related improvements for the existing community water system. Property located at 111 Stephen Drive, Stonington, Assessors Map 139, Block 3, Lot 1, Zone RR-80.
Anyone here from Arlington Homes? I mean, from the water aquarium. That's it, this is it.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Zachary Kugler from Snyder Civil Engineering. Also, I have with me Andrew Benson from Snyder Civil
Can't hear
Engineering
you.
as well. I'm sorry, can you hear me better now?
Yes.
I'm sorry about that. Good evening, everyone. My name is Zachary Kugler from Snyder Civil Engineering, representing Aquarian Water Company. And I have with me here Andrew Benson, also from Snyder Civil Engineering, to talk about the project with everyone.
Go right ahead.
Okay. So the project we have here is for Aquarian Water Company's water system. They own the water system within the Arlington Homes Mobile Home Park. Currently, they have an existing concrete block, small well house in the park. Aquarian is proposing to upgrade the treatment in the facility. Unfortunately, there's not enough room to add that within the existing building. So Aquarian proposes to construct a new 16-foot by 38-foot long building, constructed of split-face block with an asphalt shingle roof. That building will house the new treatment equipment, as well as some basics for their control system and electrical systems. And then the goal is that this building will be constructed with enough space so that as Aquarian continues to make improvements, they can move most of their equipment into this building and demolish the old building.
Anyone have any questions?
What exactly goes on inside the building? I didn't understand from the description.
Sure, so there's 2 wells on site that produce water. That water is pumped into the building where it's metered to monitor how much water is produced from each well. It's then treated with chlorine for disinfection, and then another chemical for adjustment of the pH.
So it's a mini treatment plant.
Yes,
But it's not sewage, it's just for the incoming water.
correct, it's
Correct.
drinking water.
Thank you.
Drinking water.
It wasn't,
Any other questions? Thank you. Anyone else like to speak in favor?
I would like to have a question about the attic.
you have to speak.
Would you go up to the microphone, please? Your name, please.
Tom Tensfeld, 21 Gun Club Road, adjacent to the site that's being discussed. My question is, are there any changes to the pumping of groundwater that we should be aware of?
No. So the
The
water
rates
system,
and extents and all of that are similar?
no, the water system's gonna be, continue to be operated the same way, the same usage that they have had all along. It's just really, we're building a new building so we can treat the water better.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak in favor? General comment?
For the record, my name is Carlene Donarumo. I don't live over there or know anything about this, but I did read the staff report. And it seemed like the town engineer had a lot of questions and a lot of comments, but I didn't see that they've been addressed. And I do not see in the planner's report a stipulation that the applicant must meet with the engineer's suggestions. And so I just wondered what was going on.
We'll find out.
Thank you for your comment. So we did meet with, or receive the comments from the town engineer. We issued a revised set of plans, which we have with us today, that addressed all of his comments. I think he had one small outstanding comment, which we addressed, and then once we received the board's comments today and the public's comments, we're going to issue a final stamped set for the town to have on file. But all those comments were addressed to his satisfaction. Yeah, I'm sorry it's not documented, but.
Yeah, it is, the town engineer's comments of July 1st that were in the report do say that the engineer has satisfied the comments with the understanding that one remaining detail will be included in the final plan set with regard to the dry well.
Any other general comments on it? Keith?
No other real comments received. This did receive approval from the Inland Wetlands Commission a little while ago, just with the routine stipulation that staff shall be notified prior to the start of construction to inspect sediment and erosion control requirements. Our recommended stipulation was just prior to the issuance of a zoning permit, final plan shall be signed by the commission and recorded in the town's land evidence records. The decisions are just the waivers requested and the special use permit application.
Do I hear a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Do I hear a motion on this application?
A motion to approve the application with the stipulations
And with the town engineer
and
separation?
with 10 engineer sign off, yes.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Do we have anything else to come before the meeting? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Meeting adjourned.